guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers again. Today I'm working on putting the parts that I ordered to put together this 17.5 Briggs flathead engine that I got off of the Craftsman LT 1500 that I got for free. That's right, free. And so as you guys know, I was going to do a video on the teardown. Well, during the teardown, I discovered that the connecting rod is actually good. And what was bad was the Synchro Counterweight links. 2 of them. And so they just busted. Yet the connecting rod stayed intact, which is pretty amazing actually. So I decided that I was going to go and rebuild this engine. Didn't realize that because, you know, I said I was going to rebuild it, right? That it was going to be minimal money to fix it. Just get these things and you're good? No. So, because I forgot, I actually used the components of this engine to get the other engine, Scott Keller's engine, running on that LT 1500. So I took the stator, the starter, the carburetor, I took all that stuff and I used it. So if I'm going to rebuild this, guess what? I had to go buy a stator, a starter, a carburetor. I just put this together. This is the new synchro balancer that I got. I paid $25 for it. I had to remove this piece right here, and for me to be able to fit this link on this side, this link on that side. The numbers 3-1 is pointed outwards. Numbers 2-1 pointed outwards, or 2I. I put oil in between the areas. There was a little bit of scuffage on this side, so I just took some very fine grit sandpaper and a little bit of oil and just kind of slowly went around it, so now it's nice and smooth. Check this out. Look at that, huh? Seems heavy. Crankshaft is in good shape. Its journal is smooth. This is the busted one. And I got some new parts today. I'll show you. Like I said, I got the crankshaft onto the Synchro balancer. So I paid $25 for that. It's a new starter. I paid $15 free shipping. It's used. Guy says it works. It better work. Starters are pretty cheap anyway. A new one, aftermarket, is like $25, you know. But OEM Briggs, $15. I paid about $12 for this stator. It's in good shape. It's a dual circuit one. A red wire and a black wire. Has a diode on it. That's how you know it's a dual circuit. This is rated at about 5 amps. It's good enough for this engine, you know. If you had an electric PTO or a bigger horsepower one with bigger magnets, you would need the 16 amp stator, the one I used for the DYT 4000. Which I sold. Oh, speaking of sold, remember that electric lawnmower I had in the backyard and I said some nut would give me $10 for it someday? Some lady came and bought it for $25. Got a couple packages now. Charlie the mailman just came by. I was the only one on the block that got the right mail because he's training some new dude. And so everybody, all my neighbors are swapping mail because he got the wrong house. But all my mail's right because Charlie knows me. You know why he knows me? Because You gotta know everybody, man. You know your UPS guy, you know your mailman. You have a personal relationship with these people now, so that your stuff never gets messed up now. Anyway, so look, I just got this from Charlie, the mail. This is the new carburetor I bought for this thing. It was cheap. It was $14 something, you know? It's cheap. Unfortunately, this one has the solenoid on it. You guys know how I feel about solenoids. Fuel solenoids, I don't like them. But I wish I had a screw that would just fit in there, you know? Technically, if you wanted to get rid of this, you could just take this off, and the valve that sticks up with the tip, just cut the tip and never connect it. Just, that's it, that's it. I mean, you could just do that. If I can't figure out a way to power this solenoid with the wires on whatever mower I decide to put this engine on, I'll cut the valve. But new carburetor for this thing, $15, can't go wrong. So, I mean, I'm in this engine right now for like $105. You know what? This thing doesn't seem to turn very well. Look. Sometimes this thing gets, you see? Cheaply made. Gotta mess with the butterfly. See? In shipping and stuff, they launch stuff around. This butterfly slides out a little bit and gets caught. So I just pulled it out and put it back in. See? So now it moves. Hey, it's not the space shuttle, it's just a carburetor. Anyway, I got another package. It says it's from Seafoam Sales, Shasta, Minnesota. Minnesota. I was supposed to do some kind of sponsorship with Seafoam. Guy never got around to it, whatever. He was too busy, but it's just like a month or two ago. He sent me a t-shirt. Ooh. A t-shirt and a Seafoam hat. Auto Marine Fleet. Well, that's great. Thank you for the hat and the t-shirt. But you want me to show how Seafoam works? You gotta send me some products so I can show my viewers about how Seafoam works. I personally have never tried Seafoam myself, so I'm kind of interested. No sticker. No sticker for the Wall of Fame. You don't send me a sticker, I can't put you on the Wall of Fame. You know what I mean? I know you know what I mean. But thank you for the hat and the t-shirt. I will definitely wear it during wrenching and videos. So, that's that. I'm going to install this in there. Reconnect the connecting rod to the crankshaft. Almost forgot the woodruff key that goes on the crankshaft. You had to remove the key to get this part of the link off. There it is, right there. You would think just putting this on is easy. But it's like, it won't fit, man. Some light tappage. Straight. Just gonna sort of look at it right now. It goes in that way. Everything sits like that. It's the top. Balancer stays around here. Okay, I'm going to put some Earl on the seal. Technically, you should change the seal, but as you guys saw from when I removed it, it came up nicely and did not break, and I inspected the seal. It's in like new condition. It's recommended that you do change the seal, but that's if that was a repair shop, you know what I mean? The seal doesn't have any obvious signs of wear or tear or any kind of stuff like that. Deterioration, erosion, whatever you want to call it. Looks good to just stick it right back in there. So a couple of guys said that I asked whether or not it'd be alright to just use RTV to seal the sump, you know? And then some people were saying, oh no, you definitely have to get a gasket. You can't just use RTV. And then there's some guys like Scott Keller who says, yeah, just go ahead and use RTV, it's fine. I'm more thinking that Scott Keller is right because you know, Kohler had those Kohler Courage engines. Their new revisions on the on doing that was saying that they don't even sell the gasket anymore. You just use RTV. They recommend you put RTV instead of a gasket, so much that they don't even make the gasket anymore. You can't buy a Kohler Courage gasket. Anyway, so that is lubricated well. I'm going to put some here on the connecting rod, journal area. Remember, I blew this thing out with compressed air, as well as used some of that multi-purpose cleaner and degreaser from Lucas Oil Products. I basically bathed it all in it, and it's nice and clean. Walls are smooth too. Alright, so I'm going to just wipe it down again just to make sure, since I'm putting all that crap back in. Okay, I just had to take the valve cover off and make sure that the tap-ins were pushing the push rods through, and it was holding on to the rocker arms, and like I can't even move this right now. If I just sneeze, this thing will move this way, and the rocker arm will slide that way, and it'll fall, and be a pain in the ass. Alright, so I just earled that. Put some more Earl here on the journal. The top part of the journal. Just using some 5W30. Brand new oil. Putting it over here, just greasing it up. Here we go. Just gonna put it in. Don't be afraid. I am a little afraid. Holy cow. How on earth is this gonna fit in there like that? See what I'm saying? Thing is in the way. How on earth am I going to get this past that? Unbelievable. I don't think it's meant for me to insert it this way. See that? I got that part in, but of course it's heavy too, so get it out. How did I get it in? I'm gonna have to try to figure out this puzzle. Got no choice. I gotta take this Synchro thing apart and put it in piece by piece with that thing in there. So I'm just taking like this long nail and I cut off the sharp end. And I'm just gonna tap this to get that thing out. This thing right here, plug. Oh man, I already put the keyway in there. Now I gotta take the keyway back off. Pain in the ass. Alright. Keyway popped off. It's right here. Remind me, it's right there. I'm gonna take this one off. I'm going to put the Synchro balancer weight inside first. Man, how does that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, man. It doesn't even sit in there. Be like that? No freaking way. Doesn't make any sense, man. This thing is, oh, unless it's in the, unless it sits in here, and there's depression over there. No way. Something's wrong. I must have this backwards or something. No way, man. Could it be backwards? Could it be this way? That doesn't seem right either. Oh, maybe it's like that. Could it be like that? Because it definitely doesn't fit the other way. Did I have that thing wrong the whole time? I am like totally confused. What about the plug? How am I going to put the plug in? Let me not put the plug in yet, because you just try to fit this in first, then I'll take it back out. I might have to go back to the videotape, guys, to see how I removed it. Let's see if I put it in like that. Nope, because then this part here, how is this going to fit in there? You know what I mean? How do I get this back in there? Freaking jigsaw puzzle, guys. Like I said, I've never done it before. Gonna have to figure it out. So, I think the only way I can do this is remove the governor shaft. This is the only thing that's getting in the way of it, so I gotta remove it, you know what I mean? I think that's probably how they did in the first place. but I just want to mark it in case so I know where it where I left it off. You know, just gonna put a gold dot there. You know that it's lined up that way. Should be just loosening this bolt here, nut, and then there's a pin, and it should just slide right off. The governor's kind of tricky though, because if you don't put it back right, it's not going to run right. Got a 3/8 wrench here. Is it not coming off? It's not coming off. Don't know why it's not coming off. With it. Got a lot of buildup on here. It's not letting me get it through, so there goes my markings. Come off. I think I'm opening up another can of worms, ain't I, guys? Why won't you come out? Why? I'm just going to keep working this until I get that off. Sprayed some Lucas oil, penetrating oil on here, and just working it back and forth. It's so rusted on the inside of the shaft over here, see? It's almost off. I just gotta keep scraping it, you know? It's so old, and who knows if this has ever been taken. Ooh, I got it. Ah. All this trouble just to take this damn thing off. Now I gotta remember where this stuff goes. It's a good thing I have it videotaped, right? Cotter pin. Pull that out. And here we go. Shaft just slides out. Guess this thing stays in there. I hope that doesn't impede. Uh-oh. I'm assuming that was from there. Yeah. I remember. There's a washer in there. And then this thing was in here. Right. Then you have the cotter pin, then the other washer. Alright, I got it. I'm going to take this out because I might forget. This needs to be cleaned up. See, this is the reason why it didn't work. It didn't come out. I'll figure it out later. Just hope I don't lose any of this stuff. Alright, so I think I'm going to have to put stuff back together again into one module. Alright, I'm just going to do it on camera. Whatever. Alright, so this one has to go in first. Has to. Otherwise it won't go in. Difficult. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna have to take this off. That's better. So, word's going out. This thing goes like that. It's already been earled. Now the crankshaft goes through like this onto the journal for the weight links. Why is it so difficult? This wasn't so difficult before, guys. Alright, it fits like just right, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have the right angle, it won't fit. Now this one, words go out. Right here. No. There. Damn it. A pain in the ass. Plug back in. Oh, oh, my back. My back. I went back to the video and I checked. This part was on top, so I had it backwards before. Alright, now the tricky part is to push or to pull out the connecting rod just such that it will touch or match up with the thing. And that's going to be a challenge. There we go. Wait, I got it. See? You guys see what I'm doing there? I'm rotating it until it, boom. Matches up with it. I'll have to slowly try to figure that out. So damn it, I finally got it lined up. Finally got the connecting rod to line up with the journal. You know what? I have to take the tappings out. Otherwise I have no room to screw it in. So if I have to redo those rods again, I'm going to have to. I believe the top one is the exhaust, and it's an aluminum rod, so you can't get them messed up. I haven't taken them out yet, so I know it's right. This is a pain to get this in like this. I'll have to pull this out more so that I can turn it. There we go. This one's difficult to take out. So a little nick there, that's why. Alright, well look, once I start, once I put this on like that, got that piston thing on there, and now rotated it back so I have more room. I actually figured out that I have this little ratchet here, tiny little ratchet that I can put in a bit, 1/4 bit in there, and it gives me enough room to stick it in here and tighten it that way. Before I was turning it a 1/4 turn with a little small wrench. I didn't realize that, you know, I could move it around so that I could have more room, you know. Hey, you live, you learn. Damn, it's like octopus fingers. Seriously, you gotta be a surgeon to work on this stuff. I hope I remember how to put that governor shaft back on. And then I obviously grinded down that mark, so I have no idea where that mark was. I'm just going to have to reset the governor from the start, you know. It's pretty easy to reset the governor. Not a big deal, so I'm not too worried about it. This is going to take a while. I'll spare you. Alright. I think I finally did it. I connected the connecting rod onto the crankshaft. There you go. Feels pretty good. Of course, there's no oil in here, so it's kind of difficult to turn, you know. Once it's done with Earl, should be okay. I don't see how this thing doesn't clank all over the place, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how that works. Pretty amazing engineering if you ask me, because I don't see how it doesn't clink and clank left and right, you know what I'm saying? Especially with the amount of speeds that we're talking about, you know? Now the challenge is, how am I going to get this thing back in here? Look. Look at that. How? How is it possible? How am I going to get this back in? Shoot. I didn't think of that. I don't see how I'm going to get it out. I should have thought of that earlier. Huh. Well, this would have been in the way anyway. Man, if I have to remove that again, I'm going to lose my mind. Because it wasn't easy. No way. I mean, there's no way I'm going to get this in here without removing this. It's got a very strange little thingamajig there. I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. Okay. See that? I don't have anything that would remove that. So there's my conniption. How am I going to get the governor shaft back in here again with that thing in the way? Possible. I have to remove this. I don't know how I'm going to remove it though. Hey guys, so listen, I don't usually ask for help. But I've run into a snag here. I am rebuilding this 17.5 Briggs flathead single-cylinder engine, and basically the connecting rods were fine, but the synchro counterbalance weight links were busted on this engine. I just got the new ones here. This is the balancer, these are the links, and I have it installed along with the connecting rod onto the crankshaft. For me to get this in here, right, I had to remove the governor shaft. So now that I have it in here, how do I put the governor shaft back in again without removing this thing here? And I don't know how to remove that thing there. Guys, let me know. So I was just taking Boba for a walk in my neighborhood. And my neighbor throws out his lawnmower. Well, gonna have to take it. Roll it back home. Huh. Murray, 20 wide, 4.5 Briggs. Old style carburetor. I actually like working on these carburetors. Very easy. So I went inside and went on YouTube, and I looked everywhere for some dude that had the exact same setup as I, and I found double wide 6. He was doing almost exactly the same thing as me, so I'm like, oh, this is perfect. He had the synchro balancer links that go bad too, so he had exactly the same one, because there's 2 different types. Mine's this kind with this thing sticking up like that, and so I watched him do it, and he didn't have to remove the governor shaft at all. He just slipped it right in, and I'm like, what the hell? How did he do that? So I was just in a bad angle. He had his engine up vertically, like on a table or something, and he just slipped it in. So I was at a bad angle, which what it was. So I just moved it around. I took everything out again. I put the governor shaft back in again, right? I need to adjust this when I have this all together and reset it and stuff. But it just slipped right in, man. I did all that extra work for nothing, man. It drove me nuts. So I'm thinking, how is this safe? You know what I mean? Won't this hit this, right? This governor thing will hit this, whatever. But I think when you put the sump cover on, it has 2 brackets that hold this inside, and it holds it in place. So it's on here tight. I put the tappets back in, and I put the timing gear back on to the keyway. So I'm just waiting for a crankshaft, a camshaft now. I need the camshaft. I bought a new one. Comes with the ACR, or what they call a compression release mechanism on there. Apparently you can't buy one and put it on. It's like sealed from the factory or whatever, and if it comes off, you have to buy a new camshaft. So that's what I did. I bought a new camshaft, and I'm just waiting for it. I won't get it until Saturday, so I've got a few days to mess with it. I was thinking about putting the carburetor on, and the stator on, and the starter on the other side, but honestly, if I put all that stuff on and it's laying on this side, it might break it, whatever, and I just wait until I get this thing all straightened out before I flip it right side up and put everything on the right way. I will look for some bolts though, because I don't have any screws and stuff for this, for the starter. So I'll find some bolts for that right now. But yeah, so this is all in. It's kind of interesting, you know. Everything looks good. I bought a gasket too, so I have to wait for a gas. So I'm in this thing like $110, something like that. But that's cool. Maybe I'll work on that now. Watch that thing be a pain in my butt. Anyway, so I'm just waiting for the remainder of my parts. Today, this episode was about how to put together the synchro balancer weight links and replace them back onto the connecting rod into the engine, and replacing the timing gear back on there. It was kind of a pain, but it was interesting, you know. See you guys next time when I get my remaining parts to finish putting this 17.5 Briggs flathead engine single cylinder back together again. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Hey guys, support my channel, buy a sticker. Also follow me on Instagram at Mowers Blowers. Check out my website, mowersblowers.com. See you guys on my next project. Have a great